I'm Kelsey Wingert, and you're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Hi, this is Phil Necro. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
This is Walk the Banks. I'm on deck with Tyler Redmond.
Welcome into On Deck. First of all, I want to thank you all for all the support this past week on my last video. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to support, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. But since you're here, let's jump right into this. A lot of you have talked to me about Nolan Arenado and the possibility of the Braves getting him instead of Donaldson coming back or Chris Bryant, like I mentioned last week. So let's jump into Nolan Arenado for a second. His stats: he has a .315 batting average, 185 hits, 118 RBIs, a 5.7 WAR, and 41 homers last year in 2019. He signed at the beginning of last year, right before spring training, to an 8-year, $260 million deal. It's about $32.5 million a year. He's a 5-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove, 4-time Silver Slugger. So he's easily in the conversation for the best third baseman in Major League Baseball, and he could be in the conversation of the best third baseman in the entire National League. So let's compare him real quick to Josh Donaldson. Josh had .259 batting average, 142 hits, 94 RBIs, a 6.1 WAR, 37 homers. He's a 3-time All-Star, former MVP, and a 2-time Silver Slugger. To flip the coin for a second, Arenado had 14 errors last year in the field. He's got a .967 field percentage. Josh has 13 errors last year and a .269 field percentage. They're very even on the hot corner. I like this move a lot more than I ever liked the Chris Bryant possibility. To me, Arenado seems hungry to win after playing on those mediocre Rockies. Last year they were 71 and 91. They were 4th in the NL West. If he moves to the Braves, he'd be moving to a team that is first in their division for 2 years in a row now. Imagine what Arenado could do with good pitching to play behind, as well as other star-studded hitters in that lineup. Let me show you what I mean. Last year on the Rockies, this was the lineup: Charlie Blackmon, Trevor Story, David Dahl, Arenado, Daniel Murphy, Ryan McMahon, Ian Desmond, and Tony Wolters. Look at what's surrounding him. You got a couple home run hitters there, got a couple RBI guys, but nobody was even close to what Arenado put up last year. He led in all 3 of those categories. If he moved to the Braves, he'd be in good company. He'd be leading in batting average. He'd be tied for first in home runs with Ronald Acuna, and he'd be right behind Freddie Freeman in RBIs. I'm not saying that I'm all aboard this trade by any means, but if we're going to give up a Drew Waters and Austin Riley, a Williams Contreras, Ian Anderson, Bryce Wilson, Christian Pache, or some combination of those guys, I would much rather it be for a guy who would jump into the Braves lineup and put up numbers that are better than a majority of the team, or at least compete with a majority of the team. At least that's what he's done historically, right? So I don't want to just trade for a big name in Chris Bryant, which would pretty much be a lateral move to Donaldson, I think. You may get a couple million off the contract. To me, either improving, which is what Arenado would do, or sticking with the guy that you've chosen, Donaldson, are the 2 best options. The third being platoon at third base. I don't see Chris Bryant being in the cards. Unless a miracle happens and they get a great deal on him, I don't see that happening. Will the Braves dish out that kind of a loss of prospects or a huge contract like that? It's not typically their way of doing things, but I actually think the Braves may do this one. You never know what's going to happen, but if they're going to make a marquee move that's not Donaldson for 4 years, I could get behind this one. With that being said, in my last video, I said either look to the future or get Donaldson. But Arenado only being 28, with a deal that's set in stone for another 7 years, maybe looking to the future too. I could get behind that, even though he may lose a step before he's 36. I think 7 years of Arenado would be plenty of time for the Braves to win a couple championships on this long championship stretch that they're expecting in the coming years and they're preparing for in the coming years. I could really see the Braves making this move. If the stars align and the Braves do jump on this, I just hope that it's not for the entire farm. As I've said before, no one is looking for cash considerations when they trade with the Braves. They want prospects. It's what the Braves have. It's what people want. And the Braves have plenty of prospects, so stay tuned for next time. I'll be talking about the possibility of Matt Chapman coming to the Braves on the hot corner. unless the Braves make a move before I can get that out to you, which they may, you never know. Till then, thanks for watching, ring the bell for notifications, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Deck.